My name is devaun.reed. I'm a solution architect over the NSAW and Apex area. What we've got in front of us here is ProcurePro. This is an end-to-end procurement demo covering the full RFQ lifecycle from buyer creation to vendor bid submission to competitive evaluation, award decision, and NetSuite contract export. So we're demonstrating real-time vendor visibility and competitive bid comparison along with measurable savings in budget as it relates to the RFQ that's put forth by the buyer, which is, in this case, Bryant Park Consulting. So what I'll do to begin with, I'll navigate as Marcus Webb. We'll log in here, and this takes us to the overview dashboard. So after logging in, we can see this reset demo button here. I'm just going to click that to make sure the demo's been reset, and we've got our success message here showing that the environment is initialized. We've got KPI tiles at the top. That covers the active RFQs, which are showing the current pipeline count, the vendors engaged, so the total vendors across all the active RFQs, bids received, which is the submitted vendor bids that are awaiting review, and the pending award, which is RFQs that are in the evaluating status and that are ready for award decision. Here at the end, we have contracted value, which is the total value of awarded and active contracts. And then below that, we've got the RFQ pipeline where we're showing the draft, published, bidding, evaluating, awarded, and contracted RFQ progression. Just below that, we're looking at savings and bids. And so we've got a card here showing the total budget versus the awarded amount. And then we get a percentage that shows the savings so far. So we're $27,840 under the budget. This really acts as your centralized command center for the procurement team, real-time visibility into every active RFQ, vendor engagement level, and financial performance against budget. This would replace the spreadsheet-based tracking your team might do today, and every RFQ, every vendor response, every dollar saved versus budget is visible here in real time. There'd be no emails, no manual updates, no version control issues. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to click this navigation menu here so we can begin creating an RFQ. And in this form, we'll be able to enter details, let's say the following details, where I'll paste in some of my prepared information. So we're doing a cloud ERP integration RFQ with the category of consulting. This is high priority. We can set a bid date here for, let's say, May 30th, 2026. And the total budget under this RFQ might be $85,000. Now I'm going to add a description to further characterize the RFQ that we're creating. And what we've got here is that BPC requires experienced consultants to support a cloud ERP integration project. The scope includes API design, middleware configuration, data migration planning. Resources must have demonstrated experience with the Oracle Cloud or NetSuite integrations. So I'm going to go ahead and save this draft. And right away, we're redirected to the RFQ detail for the RFQ that I just created. I've got a number of that, an identifier for that RFQ, with the title of that RFQ, the status of the RFQ, priority, and so on. Now from here, we're going to be able to add some scope lines. So as we build out this RFQ, I have some additional prepared descriptions that we can use for our scope lines. And so for this first scope line, we'll say we're looking for an ERP integration consultant, and this is Oracle Cloud NetSuite API experience is required here. This might be remote with bi-weekly on-site check-ins, and so we've put that there. I'll update the quantity to 320, representing the hours that we need this resource for at an hourly rate. And we estimate that the unit price might be $195 per hour. I'm going to click and save. I'm going to click Save and Add Another. And now we can add another scope line. So we're looking for a technical architect with middleware configuration, data migration planning, and integration testing as the focal point. Minimum 7 years experience with a quantity of 160 hours requested. Hourly at 225 estimated. Now we click Save and Close, and you can see both scope lines now appear in the interactive report, which are these this region here. And with line 1, you can see there's 320 hours by 195, leading to that 62,400, and then the 160 hours by 225, leading to the 36,000 estimated. And so this is just at a glance over our budget. This is what we estimated, but we're looking for something that might be a little more favorable for us here. So now that we've defined these scope lines, we can actually invite vendors. So for this demonstration, we have three vendors available: Apex Talent Solutions, Meridian Consulting Group, and TechForce Partners. There also, if we switch users, we can see in the login screen that these vendors already have contacts set up in our instance. So when I send these invitations and they log in, they'll be able to see that. In addition, when we send invitations, we could actually set up an email to go out to that contact, where they would be able to see from their email, oh, I've received an invite to an RFQ. Let me go ahead and respond. So I'm going to click Send Invitations here. Oh. And once we've done that, we can see that now that has been sent. With that, I'm going to switch to one of these vendors, Sandra Owens. And this is the view that Sandra sees when she logs in. She can see that there's 3 total RFQ invitations. She's got 1 pending. In addition, the one that we just set up is here with the 2 scope lines that we just implemented. We're going to go ahead and respond. And that takes us to the vendor bid response page. So we can see that there's the RFQ summary, what we're responding to, and then we can see the status of the bid, which is not yet started. Now I'm going to click Enter Edit Pricing. And by doing that, via that click, I'm opening up the scope lines for me to respond. And so let's take that first scope line, that ERP integration consultant we talked about earlier. I can take my unit price and I can say 158. And then let's say there are some pricing notes that we want to add in. So we've got our senior consultant with 6+ years Oracle Cloud experience, available within 1 week. We'll save this line, and right away, the interactive report updates to show the price that we're sharing. We can see what the price the buyer is expecting, and so that gives us the opportunity to undercut that expectation with the lower unit price and potentially win the bid. For the second line, go ahead and fill it out. And this line 2, technical architect, we're saying we can provide that at 198, and that AWS and Oracle certified architect would be remote with monthly on-site. So both lines have been updated, and I've essentially finished my bid. But before I submit my bid on those lines, I'll go ahead and add to the bid details below. So we can say that the bid is valid until maybe June 30. We can add some special terms for the buyer's reference. And that is that all resources are W-2 employees and that background screening is included with net 30 invoicing. Some additional notes. Both of those candidates above are available for client interview prior to start. Now we can save this as a draft, which has been done, but I'll go ahead and submit the bid too. So now that that's been submitted, that can be referenceable by the buyer. But before we do that, let's run through the other vendors. Respond to the same RFQ we were working on, and then enter the pricing there. Save the line. And we'll save the line. We just have the bid details and terms left. Here are some special terms and conditions for this one as well, stating that the fixed price engagement option is available upon request, which we would put in the alternate option field, and that these are NetSuite certified resources with net 30 terms. This vendor is Meridian Consulting Group. The first one was Apex Talent Solutions. So you'll see in the additional notes here, Meridian has completed 15 cloud ERP integrations in the past 2 years. We'll go ahead and submit. All right, so we've recorded 2 different vendor bid responses. And again, this would be individual vendors logging in and doing this. I'm just doing each of those steps for us so that we can see that happen real time. We've got our Cloud ERP Integration Consulting RFQ again. So we'll respond as Renee, enter our pricing. And for this first one, we'll say 185. Oracle Partner Resource that is also Suite Foundation certified. Save the line. Line 2, 218. And 15 years enterprise architecture experience as an Oracle Cloud specialist. We've saved those lines. And finally, to update the bid details and terms. So the special terms on this are Oracle Certified Partner pricing, quarterly business reviews included, and a multi-year discount available. We've also got our additional notes here. Submit the bid. Okay, so all 3 vendors have now submitted their bids. In a real engagement, obviously this would happen asynchronously over days, but we're demonstrating the complete cycle now. And so Marcus has everything he needs to make an award decision. We'll switch back to Marcus. Now we are Marcus. We'll go to our active RFQs, and we can see that Cloud ERP Integration Consulting RFQ that we created, that's been published. And the event status change for publish is when we actually invited those vendors. Pretty soon we'll change this to evaluating, and that will be when we compare the bids. So let's go ahead and compare those bids. We've got all three of them, but there's another way we can view this. And as you can see, if I zoom out a bit, we're actually determining what the best price is. Based on the bids we've received, automatically we can see what the best price is. So now I'm going to go back. And I've already had a chance to see, okay, which bids have the best price, but now I'm ready to award. Let's say I chose Apex Talent Solutions because they had the best price. I click award. What we can see here is a page with the bid cards for all three vendors sorted lowest to highest. We've got Apex Talent Solutions, Meridian Consulting Group, and TechForce Partners. I want to point out here that lowest bid badge. So right away you can see when you go to award, who's the lowest bid, the percentage under budget, how much we're saving, those lines, how they've been quoted, the special terms. We can see Meridian's 1.5% over our budget, and TechForce has been the most expensive with this response at over 10.7%. I'm going to go ahead and award the RFQ to Apex Talent Solutions. And I wanted to call out that when we award the RFQ, you can see this message that pops up. Click OK to select the vendor, then enter an award reason, and click Confirm Award to finalize. So we've done that. We can enter the reason. Apex Talent Solutions is the cheapest. Confirm the award. And that puts us on the purchase contract page, which allows us to send this to NetSuite and officially update our records. We can see the awarded vendor information, the company, the contact, their phone number, the email, winning bid details, everything available at a glance. I'm going to go ahead and click Send to NetSuite. And after I click Send to NetSuite, it updates the status to show that we have indeed sent it to NetSuite. And of course, when you click a button or have any sort of event inside of our portal, we can connect other activities to that, sending an email, introducing another point for human discretion, what have you. And now if I navigate back to the overview dashboard, I can see that the RFQ we just processed is in contracted status. The value of the KPI tile has increased, and the card reflects a new under budget and a higher savings due to this awarding or contracting of that specific RFQ. For demo purposes, I can go ahead and reset my demonstration, and we're back to the beginning. Thank you for your attention on this, and appreciate your time.